Which of the following statements about driving speed is true? A. As your speed increases, the chance of a fatality increases. B. As your speed increases, so should your following distance. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. As driving speeds increase, the chance of a fatality in the case of a collision increases. If you are going faster than 80 miles per hour, you have almost no chance of living through a crash. The speed you drive affects your stopping distance, so you should increase your following distance as you increase your speed. A driver should A. Stare directly in front of their car. B. Only focus on the middle of the road. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. A driver should watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. To be a good driver, you must know what is happening all around your vehicle. Always stop before crossing railroad tracks when A. There isn't room on the other side for you to completely cross the tracks. B. The railroad crossing is located in a city or town that has frequent train traffic. C. You are transporting 2 or more young children in a passenger vehicle. A. There isn't room on the other side for you to completely cross the tracks. Expect a train on any track, at any time, traveling in either direction. If you need to stop after crossing the tracks, wait until you can completely cross the tracks before proceeding. Make sure your vehicle clears the tracks before you stop. Hydroplaning occurs when tires ride on a thin film of water instead of on the road. To prevent hydroplaning in wet weather, you should A. Put on your cruise control to maintain a constant speed. B. Slow down. C. Move to the shoulder of the road as soon as it starts to rain. B. Slow down. Hydroplaning is caused by driving too fast on a wet road. Slow down when driving on wet pavement to prevent hydroplaning.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
When taking any medicine, you should A. Consult your doctor about the effects before driving. B. Have someone follow you home. C. Keep your window open and drive more slowly. A. Consult your doctor about the effects before driving. Legal medications, both prescription and over-the-counter, can potentially impair your ability to drive. Always consult with your doctor or pharmacist if you have questions about how a particular drug or drug combination will affect your ability to drive. You should particularly make a point of talking with your doctor if they give you a prescription for a tranquilizer or sedative. Reaction time is slower after A. Drinking alcohol. B. Sleeping. C. Working hard. A. Drinking alcohol. Alcohol slows your reflexes and reaction time, reduces your ability to see clearly, and makes you less alert. As the amount of alcohol in your body increases, your judgment worsens and your driving skills decrease. You will have trouble judging distances, speeds, and the movement of other vehicles. When approaching a person who is crossing the street while using a white cane or guide dog, you should A. Stop until the person is well away from your path of travel. B. Honk your horn as you proceed past them. C. Carefully drive around them. You must yield the right of way to an emergency vehicle that is using its siren and flashing lights by A. Driving as closely to the right edge of the road as possible and stopping. B. Moving into the right lane and driving slowly until it has passed. C. Stopping immediately, even if you are within an intersection. A. Driving as closely to the right edge of the road as possible and stopping. You must yield the right of way to any emergency vehicle that is using its siren and flashing lights. Do this by driving to the right edge of the road and stopping, taking care not to stop in an intersection. You may move again after the emergency vehicle has passed. This sign means A. One-way traffic. B. Intersection ahead. C. Merging traffic from the right. C. Merging traffic from the right. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign tells drivers to prepare to allow traffic to safely merge from the right. You hit a parked vehicle and can't find the owner. What must you do? A. Call your insurance company when you get home. B. Wait for the owner to return. C. Leave a note with your name and address on the parked vehicle. C. Leave a note with your name and address on the parked vehicle. If you hit a parked vehicle or other property, you must leave a note with your name, phone number, and address securely attached to the vehicle or property that you hit. You must obey instructions from school crossing guards. A. At all times. B. Only during school hours. C. Unless you do not see any children present. A. At all times. Drivers should be alert to the presence of crossing guards when near a school and must always obey their instructions. As you enter into a roundabout, you should slow down and A. Yield to any crossing pedestrians and bicyclists. B. Yield to any car already within the roundabout. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. When entering a roundabout, you must yield to pedestrians, bicyclists, and traffic already in the roundabout. When should you use your horn? A. When you are saying hello to another driver. B. Whenever it may help prevent a collision. C. When you're angry with another driver. B. Whenever it may help prevent a collision. Other drivers may not know you are there unless they are looking in your direction. In a dangerous situation, your horn may get their attention. Sound your horn whenever it can help prevent a collision. If you are facing a green traffic light but the intersection ahead is blocked by traffic, you should A. Turn left and find another route. B. Stay out of the intersection until traffic clears. C. Follow the other vehicles and enter the intersection. B. Stay out of the intersection until traffic clears. Even if you are facing a green traffic light, do not start across the intersection if there are other vehicles blocking your way. If you are caught in the intersection when the light changes to red, your vehicle will block cross traffic. You can get a ticket for blocking an intersection. If oncoming headlights are blinding you while you are driving at night, you should A. Look toward the right edge of the road. B. Switch your lights to high beams. C. Turn your lights on and off. A. Look toward the right edge of the road. If the headlights of an oncoming vehicle are blinding, glance toward the right edge of the road instead of looking directly ahead. This should keep your vehicle safely on the road until you pass the oncoming vehicle. When you see this sign, you should stop in. A. Check for vehicles only in the direction that you plan on going, then proceed. B. Let all vehicles that arrive before or after you go first. C. Check for traffic in all directions before proceeding. C. Check for traffic in all directions before proceeding. At a stop sign, you must come to a full stop and check for traffic in all directions before proceeding. If your vehicle has a mechanical problem, A. Signal and pull into the slow lane. B. Stop in your lane and put on your hazard lights. C. Put on your hazard lights and pull off the road. C. Put on your hazard lights and pull off the road. If your vehicle breaks down on a highway, make sure other drivers can see it. Get your vehicle off the road and away from traffic if at all possible, and turn on your emergency flashers to show that you are having trouble. Which of the following factors affect an individual's absorption of alcohol? A. Weight. B. Height. C. Intelligence. A. Weight. Factors affecting a person's absorption of alcohol include the person's weight, their biological sex, the amount of food in their digestive tract, and the number of alcoholic beverages they have consumed. The only thing to do to remove alcohol from a person's system is to wait. You see pedestrians near the road. You should A. Sound your horn and maintain your speed. B. Speed up to clear the area quickly. C. Slow down and pass with caution. C. Slow down and pass with caution. Watch for any pedestrian who may cross your path. If you see pedestrians near the road where you are driving, slow down and be prepared to stop, if necessary. You are preparing to exit the interstate. When should you start reducing your speed? A. About halfway through the deceleration lane. B. As you approach the deceleration lane. C. Immediately upon entering the deceleration lane. C. Immediately upon entering the deceleration lane. When leaving an interstate, you should maintain your speed until you enter the deceleration lane, at which point you should reduce your speed to the exit ramp's posted advisory speed. Children on bicycles should be given extra space by motor vehicle operators because A. They do not have the same physical reflexes as adults. B. They are smaller and more difficult to see than adults. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. Children are often the least predictable pedestrians and the most difficult pedestrians to see. Take extra care to look out for children, especially near schools, bus stops, playgrounds, parks, and ice cream trucks. Be aware of children riding bikes on the sidewalk, as they may come onto the road unexpectedly. What should you do when you see this sign? A. Look for a train station ahead. B. Signal before going any further. C. Slow down and yield to trains. C. Slow down and yield to trains. A round sign means you are approaching a railroad crossing. This sign is posted a few hundred feet in front of the tracks and tells drivers to slow down, look, listen, and prepare to stop. This sign means A. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. B. Slow-moving vehicle. C. No U-turn. A. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. This sign indicates parking spaces that are reserved for vehicles displaying persons with disabilities license plates, disabled veteran license plates, and/or disabled parking placards. A broken yellow line beside a solid yellow line indicates that A. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the solid yellow line. B. Passing is not permitted from either direction. C. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken yellow line. C. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken yellow line. A broken yellow line alongside a solid yellow line means that traffic in the lane next to the broken line may cross the line to pass, while traffic in the lane next to the solid line may not. Which of the following is most likely to be slippery in cold weather after snow or rain? A. A hilly, open road. B. A residential road. C. A road in a shaded area. C. A road in a shaded area. On cold, wet days, shaded spots on a roadway can become icy. Shaded areas often freeze before, and thaw out after, the rest of a road. A broken yellow centerline indicates that A. Passing is not permitted. B. Passing on the right is permitted when the way ahead is clear. C. Passing on the left is permitted when the way ahead is clear. C. Passing on the left is permitted when the way ahead is clear. A broken yellow centerline next to your side of the road indicates that traffic may cross the centerline to pass from your side of the road. Which of the following is a dangerous habit when driving in work zones? A. Tailgating another vehicle. B. Failing to carefully watch for workers and moving equipment. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. When driving in a work zone, adjust your speed for the traffic conditions and don't follow other vehicles too closely. Be attentive to workers and machines in the work zone. To pass on a two-lane road, you should A. Sound your horn as you pass. B. Flash your headlights as you pass. C. Judge the distance to any oncoming vehicles. C. Judge the distance to any oncoming vehicles. It can be hard to judge the speed of oncoming vehicles. They do not always seem to be coming as fast as they really are. Always be sure you can safely change lanes when passing on a two-lane street. If you are not sure of an oncoming vehicle's speed, wait to pass until the oncoming vehicle has passed and you are sure there is enough space for you to change lanes safely. What does this road sign mean? A. Falling rocks. B. Trucks use second gear. C. Steep hill. C. Steep hill. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign indicates that you are approaching a steep hill. Slow down and be ready to shift to a lower gear to control your speed and protect your brakes from damage. You are merging onto an interstate highway. You should A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. B. Merge across two lanes at once. C. Always stop before entering the highway. A. Select a safe gap and merge into the lane of traffic. Anytime you want to merge with other drivers, you need to find a gap large enough for you to safely enter into the flow of traffic. You should not stop on the entrance ramp to an interstate highway unless there are no gaps into which you may safely merge. In Kentucky, when may hand signals be used by drivers of passenger vehicles in the place of mechanical turn signals? A. If the vehicle is not equipped with mechanical turn signals. B. If the driver prefers to use hand signals. C. Never. C. Never. In Kentucky, your car must have working mechanical turn signals. Hand signals may not be used by those driving on Kentucky roadways. Farm, construction, and animal-drawn vehicles are exceptions to this rule, and their drivers may need to use hand signals. Bicyclists may also use hand signals. When driving behind another vehicle at night, you should A. Keep your headlights on the low beam setting. B. Use your high beam headlights until you are within 10 feet of the vehicle ahead. C. Use your high beam headlights. A. Keep your headlights on the low beam setting. Use high beam headlights only when driving in rural areas and when other cars are not nearby. Lower your headlights to their low beam setting when you are following closely behind another driver. Various traffic control devices in construction and maintenance work areas are the color A. Red. B. Orange. C. Yellow. B. Orange. Orange warning signs are used in and around work zones. Use special caution when you see orange signs, cones, or barriers on a roadway. If you see a pedestrian using a guide dog or carrying a white cane. A. The pedestrian must yield the right of way. B. You must yield the right of way. C. Honk your horn to let them know you are there. B. You must yield the right of way. Blind or partially blind pedestrians may carry a white cane or use the assistance of a guide dog. You must yield the right of way to a pedestrian with a guide dog or a white cane. When leaving a parking space that is parallel to the side of the road, you should A. Turn on the appropriate turn signal. B. Look over your shoulder. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. If you are parked parallel on the right-hand side of the street, turn on your left turn signal and look over your left shoulder before moving back into traffic. If you are parked parallel on the left-hand side of a one-way street, turn on your right turn signal and look over your right shoulder before moving back into traffic. While driving at night, a vehicle coming toward you has its high beams on, making it hard for you to see the road ahead. You should A. Look ahead toward the left edge of your lane. B. Look ahead toward the right edge of your lane. C. Look straight ahead in your lane. B. Look ahead toward the right edge of your lane. If an oncoming driver fails to dim their high beams, you should avoid looking directly at the headlights. Instead, look toward the right edge of your lane and watch the oncoming vehicle out of the corner of your eye. When you drive through a construction zone, you should A. Stop to watch the workers. B. Decrease your following distance. C. Pass the construction zone carefully and not rubberneck. C. Pass the construction zone carefully and not rubberneck. To avoid contributing to chronic traffic congestion, you should not rubberneck. That is, you should not slow down to look at out of the ordinary things. When driving in fog, you should A. Use your high beam headlights. B. Use your parking lights. C. Use your low beam headlights. C. Use your low beam headlights. Drivers should use low beam headlights when driving in fog. High beams will reflect back at the driver, making it difficult to see. If a traffic signal light is green and a police officer signals for you to stop, you should A. Obey the officer. B. Obey the traffic signal. C. Do what the vehicle in front of you does. A. Obey the officer. Drivers must obey any instructions given by a police officer, even if the instructions contradict laws, signs, signals, or markings that would otherwise apply. A sign with this shape means A. No passing zone. B. Right turn permitted on red. C. Yield right of way. A. No passing zone. A pennant-shaped sign marks the beginning of a no passing zone.